Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikka Draziv. Guys, welcome to the show. If your first time here, do hit that subscribe and like button. And yes, what an awesome show we have today and an awesome guest. And what should I say about the guest of today? He and me, we know from how long we have been trying to make this happen, maybe even years. Yeah, like I even remember during my first podcast that I started, like that was right after that 2020 BS that happened, right? And I was also a co-host of a Spanish flat Earth channel where we reached from 500 subscriber to maybe 150,000 subscribers, and there were around more than 5,000 people used to tune in during those 2020 BS, right? But they took it down because of the other topics we tried to cover relating to that, right? A bit of politics around that with all the word Q and everything else, right? So that channel got deleted, and then I started doing my own podcast, like first podcast I remember, and I did some podcasts with Kevin, and Billy was one of the person that I wanted to do, and Billy knows that we've been trying for years for that, but at least finally we are here with him, our guest today. But before we get into that, I want to say a quick hello to my co-host and brother from all the way from New York, Gene. Edited brother. How are you doing?
Doing great, bro. How are you? Cool, man. Thanks for throwing the show, brother. It's always good to be here every Sunday with you guys. So thanks to everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for spending your time with us. It's just real important that it means a lot to us, have you guys hanging out. I wish I could type and be on the show at the same time, but I got too confused. I'll be like, it's got to be one or the other for the most part. So yeah, bro, we've been trying to get tonight going for a long time, so I'm real excited to be here. It's gonna be a good show, guys. So you see, I'm in a turtleneck and a hat. It's freezing in New York right now. It's cold and rainy, and I'm like, one of my carnations didn't make it through the freeze, and I'm so upset. I started it from plants last year, and it did well, and it was like 2 feet tall, and it was doing well early spring, like a month ago. We had a nice warm spell for a week, and then we had a cold spell, and it didn't make it. I'm like heartbroken. My carnation. But anyway, enough of that stuff, right, guys? So really, welcome, guys. Really, thank you so much for spending your time. We got a really great show coming up for you tonight, guys. You're gonna love it. So thanks, Vika. Let's have it, bro.
Oh yeah, brother. Before we jump in, do you want to show what you have us? You finally have some stuff on coffee.com. So please show us to the people, right? What have you got for us here?
Sure. Yeah, thanks,
I'm
man. It's been fun doing these. It's not totally original stuff, but the artwork is original. It's my artwork, and it's representations of the moon, or what they might call planets. You know, these are 6 inches across, up and down. It's got a little frame, you can stand it, kind of like that one. That one's bigger. I got to figure out the postage, and maybe I'll do bigger ones if people like them. But I plan on having a bunch, and I'd like to do the colors. I got a couple of different colors if you're into that. I don't know if the camera's picking it up that great. But yeah, I'll be doing stuff like this. And then I got one more ready to go. This one I kind of like. It's got tire tracks in it. So if you guys are into something like that, want to support the show, it'd be awesome. I would love to have this in everybody's house. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm on a delay. I saw it on the computer. It's cool. So yeah, I've been doing different types of art for my whole life, and through the years I've had all different kinds of things. I made tons of different skulls. I was into skulls for years. I still am. It's classic, timeless artwork. The creator's artwork is skull, and I got all different kinds of things all over the world, and that's a lot of fun, guys. If you ever thought about maybe doing something like that, I would highly recommend trying to get your stuff out there also. um, my nephew ran into someone who had one of my skulls 20 years after I sold it in Long Island. So big cities are really kind of small towns with just a lot of people in them. So it's
Oh
kind of
yeah,
like that.
absolutely, brother. So
Uh,
people, you have a link of Gene in the description. Yeah, and of Kofi. So yeah, do support also Gene. What is his art, right? So he's gonna be adding more amazing stuff. So this is all for, uh, like as I said, for content creators. You wanna have a kind of coffee or support in exchange for this to show your support. So that's one of the way you got there for Gene, and also you have got my link and the bottle there that I always show. Also, if you guys want to support Vika with this awesome copper bottle, you'll also have the link there in the description. And yes, that's all been said. Let's get in with our amazing guest. Also, he has an amazing product of him for him, right? So we have our brother and also a star of Flatten the Curve, and also an author of an amazing book, The Elusive Curve. Finally, we have our brothers Billy Zig, all the way from Australia. Welcome, brother Billy Zig, to Heliopsychosis podcast. How are you doing, brother?
Vikka, great to join you. Vikka, great to join you. Is this audio okay? Are we
Oh
going
yeah,
here?
we hear you
Perfect.
perfectly, brother.
And you're so right, because you created this amazing documentary, Flatten the Curve, and it's been so hard trying to connect, trying to um, get our time zones in sync, if you like, because we live on the other sides of the pond, not of the globe, as they used to say. But yeah, no, thank you for having me, and it's a privilege to be amongst. You know what? I was taking a note here as you guys were chatting, because it's the creativity that's spurred, right? And geocentrists, if people don't like the word flat Earth, but geocentrists are very creative. They're creating that product that you just showed, Gene, of the moon and a mold, and that's great. That's awesome, right? That's really cool.
Thank you.
And Vika, what you've created, not only with Flatten the Curve, but also your other dog and Mechanical Realm, which I was just watching, and that was sort of something I mentioned in my book as well. I don't want to go there, but the Mechanical Realm, forget my book, because I did a 200-word spiel on the Antikythera mechanism, but you created a 1 hour and 40-minute video, which I commented on your video just earlier. I'd say that video will go down in history as one of the best videos on this device, this Antikythera mechanism, device, computer, what do you call it? Because I heard about that in 2010, and that was five. Well, I first heard of flat Earth in 2014, so that was about 4 years before flat Earth, or maybe 2009. I first heard of it, but it was always, I never in a million years would have gone, oh, that means the stars revolve around us. That means the moon does. That means the sun does. No way in a million years. So now, understanding it from a geocentric point of view, that video, and as more people awaken, and hey there, Keith, hope you're well. Peace to you too, brother.
Hey, Billy.
How you going,
Hey, how
champ?
are you?
Hey guys, doing good.
Good on you, man. Where are you, Keith?
I'm in Florida near Daytona Beach.
Unreal. So we got
Yeah.
Spain, New York,
Yeah.
Florida, and Melbourne, Australia. How you going?
Awesome.
I do have real hands. This is a green screen behind me, and I'm not really here at the beach.
So yeah, Keith also is from the mechanical realm.
I know.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I just muted you, Keith, because we can hear you a lot.
Yeah, I'm
The
driving, so there might be some
engine.
road noise.
Yeah. So when you want to speak, you can unmute. All right.
Yeah, I just want to jump on and say
Go
hi
ahead.
to Billy. I'm actually dropping my kids off somewhere, but I will try to get on later. But Billy, I just appreciate you and all the work you've done. I have not read your book yet. I want to, but I see you on Facebook all the time. So I see you're really active. But man, I just appreciate you and your work, and I hope to jump on here with you guys a little bit later. But you guys is it gonna be like an hour and a half show tonight? How long are you gonna be on here?
I'm ready to go.
We're
All right,
hanging
good,
out,
good.
pal.
Let's do
We
this.
just
Yeah.
started.
Good on you, Keith, and you're a legend, man. Having a family and taking your kids to work. I can see him in the background. That's like.
Yep. Everybody say hi.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
legends, man.
Say hi.
Wow, what a beautiful
anyway.
family you have, and thank you. Great to meet you as well, Keith.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll jump on with you guys later. Y'all have a good show. If not, I'll catch it tomorrow when I can listen to it on the drive.
You have a great
Peace.
day,
Cool.
guys. All the best.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
See you later.
Well,
That's cool.
that's what life's about. That's what life is about. I watched a video, and now we're going to segue for a little bit, not very briefly, but there was a video. I think I might have posted it on my channel, Billy Zig, on YouTube. Oh, that's my, bit of a plug there. But it was a channel, and they asked a series of adults, parents. They brought mum, 72 gendered parents in. No, it was only two, mum and dad. They brought mum and dad into the room and they asked them, who would you, if you could have dinner with one person, who would it be? And, you had the mum going, oh, Justin Bieber. And then the father go, Kim Kardashian. And then the next couple would come in, ask them. So, and as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, these people are crazy. You don't even know these. You're married, and you're asking, you want to have dinner with Kim Kardashian. Anyway, they brought about 5 couples in, and then they brought in the children of those couples, and they asked them, if you could have one person or a dinner with your favorite people, who would it be? Guess what they said? My mum and dad, my family. Yeah. And it was a difference. So they all looked at him and went, oh, yeah, right. But that's what, you know who I would have? My family. I'd probably have Jesus there. Are you allowed to say that anymore? I don't know. I'm not saying I believe in every part of the narrative of the Jesus story, but I reckon he walked this earth. Am I going to get... I've never said that online, ever. So this is an exclusive.
Nice.
But, yeah. But that's cool, and that thought was spurred because of Keith and watching him with his family, and that's what life's about, man. Continuing this thing, because if we don't procreate and produce and raise our children to be, good citizens of this earth, with where are we going, right? I know this main topic is about flat Earth and and the creator, but this is his creation. It was meant for us to do that, if you like, But yeah, I segued, and I do know what we were talking about. It was the creativity of what everyone is doing together collectively, and that's a good thing as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, brother, absolutely. Time changed, things change, right? We know how we were brought up and how the situation, the future generation is gonna be. So yeah, brother, it's difficult, all right? As you say, the time, the family, the thing is, flat Earth is the ultimate thing that the people need to wake up on, so the rest of the thing can be seen clearly, because people are so blinded with everything and so much
Yeah,
compartmentalized in different things, but the people don't
absolutely.
realize that that is the real McCoy that the people need to understand. And once they understand, everything
That
just falls in place easy.
yeah, and that's why we're all here. What other topic is there out there that we would all, Vikka from Spain, Gene from New York, Billy from Melbourne, Australia? What other topic was there? What other conspiracy theory that we could actually prove and physically test? What happens in all the other countries and whether they're hoaxes and this and that. I don't really give a shit about that. I'll watch it. I'll look at it. I'll entertain the thought, because Aristotle said that is the mark of an educated mind to entertain a thought without accepting it. So you can entertain a thought, and that's what I probably did with flat Earth after a while, because we all thought that's fucking crazy. Am I allowed to swear? That's freaking crazy, I should say. Funny enough, that's how I started my book. But because we all did that. We all went, what do you mean? Whoever told you about it, you'd go, what? That's insane. That's impossible. We've seen pictures of the globe. We've, been told this space narrative over and over. So, it must be true. Why would they all lie? We reach that conclusion, don't we? Why would they lie? And that's with everything. I remember telling my son about, if they're spraying the skies. It must have been 2008 or 9 or 10 or something like that. And he said, but why would they do that? Why? And it's that question, that we should have. Why would they lie? Well, why would they not?
Why would they tell the truth, though, Billy? Right? What are the truths they tell? They don't ever tell the truth.
What is? Yeah. And what does it mean by truth? Even if you look at the definition of, truth in today's society, the universities have really shifted the onus towards it could be anything, can't it? How many? Yeah. And if you want to do there's actually a Taylor Swift course at universities, and parents send their children there to learn about Taylor Swift effect or something like that. Like, seriously, man, I shouldn't even know about this. I'm embarrassed to know about, but I catch up with everything because I read and people go, I don't watch the news, but I like to catch up on what they're doing, because if we aren't watching the news, then they can do anything, right? True. We need to, not watch the news, but if they're going to come up and say, an asteroid the size of 42 elephants just passed by Earth, and that's on the news, we better know about that and report it and mock it.
Exactly. And I feel the same way, Billy. You got to kind of keep your eye on these people, so
Absolutely.
We can combat them and help people who are on the fence really understand what they're doing on the fence,
and how far they will go, Gene. Yeah. How far they will go as well.
Well, that's the thing, Billy.
Yeah.
When they gauge how many people are cheering them on versus how many of us there are not cheering them on, they know exactly what buttons to push next. It's a big litmus test. And
I wonder, yes, it's a litmus test, exactly. And I wonder whether they use these along the way to go, well, if we can convince people to, I don't know, buy toilet paper or do whatever shit like that, they can do anything. Where's the test? Where's the line in the sand that they can put that there and go, okay, hey, look at this astronaut flying in space, and then what? And have you seen that one where that lost astronaut is in the distance and
that's from 1972.
If they can do that, they can do And people, these globe earthers, I'm sorry, globe. What are we going to refer to them as? we'll be kind to them, but they are, I don't know, Some of them are like us many years ago, so allow them that. They're going to break through, hopefully, and find creation and find the very reasoning why we do this in the first place. Because as we, as I said not long ago, why were three guys here united, and not only three, but more than three, like millions now? How many flat earthers all sharing? I see new people coming out, and sometimes I have to think to myself, like, really, you just got this? But then I go, yeah, well, good on you, go. If you just got this, go and spread it. And and I think the frontline soldiers such as you guys and Vikka, like this, I'm looking at your numbers, and I reckon they're not lying about the number of people that watch your shows, Vikka.
Oh, for sure, brother. We are totally shadow banned and censored, brother. You know that.
Like if they're showing 30,000 watch on your video, it means 3 million.
They've been blocking us, yeah, brother. They've been blocking us. And you also started very long time before, brother. You've been also in the front line from very beginning. Then that was one of the reason I approached you for the flatten the curve, brother. So
amazing. That is amazing to hear. That is cool. Yeah. Without like, yeah, I'm gonna get. That's cool. That's why we do this. And you know what? You spark that in others. So imagine this leapfrog effect we're gonna have by that alone. And we, they go, we stand on the shoulders of giants. Like that's just no. We stand within. Here right now, not shoulders of giants. And yeah, but that was cool, really. Yeah, I've been doing this since 2014, and initially with the aim and the onus, I thought like it was almost like I had to break down this flat earth discussion. Go, no way. The Greeks proved it years ago, but I didn't connect the dots because if I'd connected Antikythera with if I'd gone Antikythera, that wouldn't work on a globe. No, it was other stuff that came up, right? So yeah, it's a process. How long did it take you guys to, Vikka? How long I love your t-shirt, by the way. How long did it take you to break through?
Oh yeah, brother.
As I said about it, like, was it a lot of research?
Few years, brother. Oh yeah, brother. The thing is, you mentioned also that you had in your book, and I didn't have any idea that you had mentioned something about the book, and I have no idea what you mentioned about that. But I also had, as I say, I get a lot of revelation. Most of my truth is in revelation, because sometimes the truth can be in front of our eyes all the life, right? It's just watching it 100 times. Sometimes it just thinks, you know what I mean? The things comes out like, and
absolutely,
this is what happens. Because if we see, and then automatically things connect. As I said, there are things that are already connected. But I don't know if I would be making films on documentary on that. Maybe the time have not come for that, right? So it's the same thing. Also with the flatten the curve, was the same thing. Sometimes the truth is right in front of us. We just have to bring the attention, the focus, right? All the science involved in flatten the curve and the mechanical realm is right there. The research, the studies has been in front of our faces right there. But they made sure that we don't get it. We don't understand it. This is what is called hiding in our faces.
Plain sight. Yeah, hiding in plain sight. Yeah.
Exactly, because when things start, yeah.
You just freaked me out, man, because I reckon by the end of your collective work you're doing, you're going to have flatten the curve, the mechanical realm, the stars, the moon, and everything in between. And you're a great documentary maker, Vikka. And is this the first thing you did? Basically, the first thing you did was flatten the curve. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. The first
Wow, wow, what an
flatten the curve.
inspiration. So, good on you, man. And yeah, like, and you collated a brilliant amount of research into that, and because I'm on it, which my voice was like the robotic. I don't know. I had this microphone and a really crappy system now I had a have a Rode Procaster with a console, and I wish I recorded it in better quality. And hey, maybe you could do Flatten the Curve Part 2.
You were really
Because it
good,
needs
Billy.
it.
Don't worry, you were really good. And for me also being the first time was, I'm not perfect, right? For being the first time also, right?
Good on you. The
The
way
truth,
you organized that, yeah, was cool, man. So I can't even. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. If you got yeah, I'm gonna announce it now. I'm gonna do an Australian flat Earth documentary. That's what I want to do, and I'd love your assistance with it. So, yo, Jane, how you going, bro? So yeah, your work will go down in history, and that's what I commented on your video on
oh
the
yeah, bro.
mechanical realm, because that is just an amazing, if there's an entry point to going, hey, where do I live? Go, well, what do the ancients think? And everyone says that the Greeks proved it thousands of years ago. The earth is spherical. No, they didn't. If anyone tells you that, there was hot debate for many, many, many centuries until you'd say Copernicus and Newton. That's why they were still trying to work it out. And everyone in between that was a geocentrist. And they weren't thinking about, most mum, dads, and, the family, as I mentioned before, weren't thinking about where do we live, how can we prove it. They were just trying to stay warm, eat,
Oh yeah, brother. This
keep,
is the thing.
Build cathedrals.
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
build massive cathedrals with horse and buggy, yeah, just stuff like that,
Bar forts to build,
and cowboys and Indians, and on the other side of the 200 miles
yeah.
away there were cowboys and Indians. That's cool.
Exactly. And this is the thing, it
Boom,
opens
boom.
a lot of rabbit holes, right, Billy? The thing
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
mechanical realm and the flatten the curve in 1.5 hours. I couldn't have put everything in flatten the curve, nor in the mechanical realm, everything that is related to this subject. There is so many things that connects with this Antikythera mechanism. Everything we can imagine connects with this, and the rabbit holes that it opens, like me and Gene, we go sometime deeper on some of the technological
well,
aspect, right? So this is the best part, and the Globers have no way, right? This device and everything related to all the ancient technology, the cathedrals and all the ancient sites. This rabbit hole goes so deep and proves that this Earth is geocentric and precise and beautiful as a clock, as a machine that these ancients have left with us. And the Antikythera mechanism is a Greek version, right, of the same
absolutely.
technology, a machine with a scientific name that is called a cosmograph, right? And you also have connection with the Greeks and all this stuff. Tell us about yourself. You want to share with that
Well,
connection?
that's a beautiful word that you just said, cosmograph. Like, what does that mean? We hear that's all like, wow, amazing that we say, and I just wish that I appreciated my Greek heritage when I was younger, because at school, when the teacher would say cosmograph, I know went, oh, that's a Greek words, or two Greek words connected. Cosmo, which is the people, cosmo, we're all cosmo, and graph, to draw to, yeah. So what are we doing when cosmograph is like trying to draw the earth? And what about cosmology? That's cosmo and the logic. Where do we come from? So there's all these different philosophies. What is philosophy? Philo is a friend, and Sophy is wisdom. A friend of wisdom, yeah, I could be a philosopher. I like wisdom, yeah. But we were taken away from this type of thinking or science, is that science? Or what is science in Latin? Science is the word sciente, which means knowledge. So science is knowledge, and all of this leads back to knowledge. But I love what you're doing, Vikka, and the part I'm trying to wrap around, because I watched your video just before this show. I can't work out whether it was Archimedes who did the gearing in this Antikythera device. I'd love to dive into, I don't know, what's your conclusion on that in particular? And if they did the gearing, because I used to be, when I left school, 17 or something, 16, left early. But I became a mechanical engineer, and I used to create gears and work on printing machines, some of the largest printing machines on earth that would print the yellow pages, directories. Remember those big books you'd have that, you probably,
there's a lot of printing.
Well, back then, cops would bash people with yellow pages books. Now, I don't know what they're bashing them with now, but I remember friends would go, "Oh man, I just came back from the cop shop. I got busted for this or that," and arrested, and go, "Fuck, you got no bruises?" "Yeah, they hit me with the yellow pages," right? They'd smash you with it, yeah. But these machines, that was a bad joke. But no, it's not a bad joke, or because it was real. But these machines were massive and thousands of gears intertwined to work, and because that ratio of this gear to that one, as you pointed out in your book, in your video, Vikka, which you could make into a book one day. I hope you.
I am in the process.
Wow. Yeah. Telepathy. But the gearing behind that mechanism, and to precisely notch out every gear on a circle, is like and to make the other one connect, and the other one, and to model that off the sky above. Wow. Seriously.
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah. It's a scale model of our cosmos, as we say, cosmograph, right?
Yeah.
And if we speak about gear technology, and if this device, whoever it was made by, Archimedes or any other, because I think this was a shared technology. Antikythera mechanism was a Greek version of a shared technology, same like astrolabe, sextant, or anything that came after, astronomical clocks. So the gears were really important. The gears were used much before by many civilizations, not only in this timekeeping and cosmograph, plus a selenograph, a scientific device, but everything in technology, they were shared by these people. So this is the thing. 2000 years ago, they were making this, and for us, that means all timeline is wrong. Whatever they are feeding us is wrong. So they might have already evolved so much in technologies that we cannot imagine. Even today, we need those gears for servo. Everything needs those gears for servo to be
absolutely
to function.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Without gears, many things is not going to work, right?
Yeah, so, that's why I was relating it to the machinery. And if one of those gears was broken, and just a lot of, not broken,
one gear, right, Billy?
One tooth of the gear, that's it. And
fix it.
Just incredible. And the astrolabe, and a lot of devices. So there's a lot of and if you look at it from people on across the world, across the pond, if you like, the Greeks, the Mayans, they had their clock, didn't they? And if you modeled this depiction of a Mayan clock, maybe, and if you juxtaposed it over the Antikythera mechanism, maybe that has some relevance too. And isn't that odd? And the Hindus and everyone, the Japanese, everyone did before the Jesuits, if you like, went around and, and there's nothing wrong with saying they were, because they were. And the Catholic system and all of that took over society and taught this new way. And we all know that it wasn't even that long ago. I thought that was ages ago. And it was a shock to my system to find out that even the 1900s and, even before that, Michelson-Morley, Michelson-Gale, Sagnac, Aries. Like what? Einstein's saying we can't prove it. What are you doing there? What formula? You're creating a formula? Did they teach you that at school? Did they, Gene? Vikka?
The formulas and the calculations, Billy.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's did they marry? Look, if they married with reality, you'd go, okay, that's crazy that we can't detect motion. We can't ever see the curve, and just all these crazy things. We can't prove the sun. It looks like the sun is small in the sky, like the Earth looks bigger than the sun, obviously, but you can't prove it. It's just all these. The globe Earth model relies on theories, and what's another cool Greek word? And what's another cool Greek word? The word
go ahead, Billy.
Theories, because the word theo in Greek means God. God is theo, theology, theocracy, theory. So when the scientists, what they're looking for is God. And that's why they say the first sip of science takes you away from the creator, but God is waiting for your very end, because that's the truth. These scientists, most of them, I'd say, are trying to find real reality. But yeah, I hope we're helping them, and we're helping them come forward eventually. Come out of the closet, if you like, of their. Will they in 10 years' time say or admit, hey, we were wrong? And so what? We've been wrong. We were wrong. Anyway.
No way, brother. Because this is the thing, as you mentioned, the Mayans, the Babylonians, the Vedics, the Hopis, right? Anywhere you go, every civilization, they were much more advanced. They knew how to time keep, right? This rabbit hole goes much more deep with the thing, as you say, right? Even the zodiacal wheel, the astrology, everything connects with the Antikythera mechanism, the astrolabe. So everything that this divine creation works on proves our geocentric Earth, right? And especially this machine tells you what is moving and what is not moving, right? It's telling you the real positions of the sun, moon, the luminaries, the constellations, the eclipses, the phases. There's so much of science there,
absolutely,
and compacted it destroys it. Right?
Absolutely, and it was that word you start that keyword you started with was time keep. Time keep. That's incredible. That's what we're doing. We're trying to, but we're seeing the same things over and over. Not flying within, which has been shifted. Like a lot of people still support the heliocentric model, which has been disproven many times over. Even modern day science doesn't acknowledge a heliocentric model where the sun is here and everything around the sun. No, now the sun is flying through the universe, and the universe is expanding, created by a big bang, heading towards a big crunch. That's what they call it. We're going from a big bang, and all of their theory ends towards a crunch. More chaos at the end. Does this chaos create more something new? And this is probably where they, oh shit, I shouldn't give them that idea, because that's probably where they're going to go, right? This crunch is like a bang, but it's just better. And a crunch is like Cocoa Pops sort of crap. It's crazy. It is. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it is insane, but only when you question it with an open mind. Yeah, and that's what I had to do with Flat Earth, because originally 2014 I was anti-flat. I hated Flat Earth and the notion of it, and everyone was biblical and they'll create, not creation. I didn't look at it like that, but a lot of people were quoting, it says it in the Bible, and cool. Well, they were flat earthers too, wouldn't they? Who wrote them? who wrote the Bible, they were flat earth. So I get it now. But back then it triggered me. So I had to like try and debunk flat earth, and then remember going, no, this is wrong. If I'm gonna, drop your ego, I thought you have to sometimes drop your ego, let it go, because the flat earthers were making so many good points that I had to. Not only the shit that I was finding, I mentioned in my book, where the character, it's a novel, but the character one day just goes, hey, let me look for long distance world record photo. That's what I keyword searched, key term searched or whatever. And guess what? There was a website, Beyond Horizons. You've probably seen the 273
It's from
mile
Spain,
photo
yeah.
from
It's
Spain.
it's from Spain to France.
Well, I found that. That was me. I found that photo. So I contacted a guy, Mark Nesbitt. Do you remember that English guy, and he had a beard, and he used to do presentations and on Flat Earth years ago?
Yeah.
He goes, I'm doing a presentation tomorrow night. I'm going to, in England or wherever he was, he goes, I'm going to add that in. And it was like, wow. So I remember going, that guy shared my photo that I just found, which is a world, let's go back to that, world record. If you go to the world record and say, I just juggled 6 balls in my hand, they'd go, prove it. Go, look, I just did it. And imagine I just added 6 balls now. It was an optical illusion or threat. I don't accept that. It's real stuff. So not long after that photo came out, or maybe after the flat earthers started using it as evidence, he added a note going, it was refraction. So are you saying that an optical illusion was allowed in a world record photo? Because they don't. But I reckon he did it because of the flack that he caught out of that. But the point being that there's so much evidence that has stacked up over that time, including these long distance photos. And then I remember going, how far how high should I be to see the curve? Is it 20,000 feet? And did you once think that you could see the curvature of the Earth from when you were flying? Gentlemen, Vic, where are you at with that?
It's not possible, right? We know
No,
that's not possible.
Did you once believe that, though?
No, not even when I wasn't a flat earther, right? Because I traveled a lot in my life.
Gene?
I've never seen the curve.
I really don't know, to tell you the truth, what I would have thought back then. I guess
cool.
I probably would have thought it was possible. I mean,
you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
and what are we seeing now that I understand? Well, I'm looking through a porthole through a window of an aircraft that is usually, just if you're lucky to get a window seat, it's right there. So what kind of vantage point and how far, using your, peripheral vision, could we see anyway? But I kind of thought I could. I don't know why. I think I was like heavily brainwashed into the globe Earth model.
Billy, that's what you were saying before about the creativity and hanging out with family and the kids. Bro, the reason why they take us out of school, out of the family, and put us into school at such a young age is to squash any of that real creative thinking.
Yeah.
They tell us to think outside the box, but they create the box that we don't really think out of at the same time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're so insidious that it's creepy, these people.
And
they really understand the human psyche from little kids to adults.
Yeah, you're right. And they created a box which is a ball. And there's no way out of this, This fear, you're here, and when you realize, well, there could be, I don't know, man, I don't know if there's I love, I believe that atmosphere needs to be contained. Therefore, there needs to be a container somewhere. Firmament, explained not only by the ancients, but even science and any demonstration. How far does this go? The land go? I don't know. But they didn't even give us this thing, this the ability to consider it, right?
Yeah.
You know, even from the churches, like you think the churches, because I've spoken to priests and that, and many people who read the Bible from the start to the end, and I asked them about the firmament, and they don't know anything about it. So what do you mean? So what's the firmament? So why didn't even the churches? At what point did they go, not cut off? Science has proven that it's a ball, therefore there can't be a firmament. And when did the churches stop teaching that as well? Is a, you know, I don't know, not something I think about, but it should be something that the hardcore Christians should think about, because I'm not even there. I'm not a hardcore Christian, you know. I'll consider all, when I look at all, a holistic approach to this new world that we've all been awakened to.
Yeah. Yeah, Billy, you just said holistic. It made me think of, did you see the orangutan that was caught in the wild using herbs to heal a wound?
No, really?
Yeah, I thought that was so fantastic. It made me wonder how many other animals have been doing that for all of creation, and how long have they known? You know, so they just put this up recently. I'm like, oh, they must have hundreds of examples of this. I bet you. Now they're just going to let stuff trickle out, you know.
And they would, wouldn't they? And you know, I have a cat. She's roaming around here somewhere, but sometimes I see her eating grass. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, under
Oh
normal
yeah,
grass.
grass,
You know.
grass, wheat.
Yeah, just on the side of the road. You know, like the
Wheat.
grass. And they know when they need to, and every insect does.
Perch.
And, you know, what's amazing, like, you know, and it was mentioned before that this topic will lead you to so many others, where you start thinking, well, every creature on earth has eyes. Every creature needs to breathe. Even spiders breathe. Ants breathe. Everything. They need water, they need air, and they need the sunlight or some type of light, or not every needs light. That's you know, because some creatures live at the bottom of the oceans where there's no light. So
And they
that's
create
why
their own
I don't
light.
want to get held up on my every, you know, like claim. Sorry, Gene?
Those creatures down at the bottom of the ocean often create their own light.
All right.
You
But
know,
yeah,
bioluminescence. It's like,
bio. I was thinking sono, but it's bio. Yeah.
how did that evolve?
Crazy. So they create their own light to live. Yeah. How did
Yeah,
it
well,
evolve? And this is the thing. Then that's another topic that this correct. So what's wrong if there are a group of people around the world talking about this, trying to find the truth or science or theology? The who made it? Was it a theo? Was it God? You know, because they at top level, the unis, and that's what they're doing, but they don't want us to do that at this level. They want this level of the slaves just to work, and no, don't question it. You're not allowed to make docos, Vikka. You're not allowed to make art, Gene. You know what I mean? So no, that's why I think we've sparked this reignited this fire of discussion that it's unstoppable, wouldn't you say, right now? Like what's happened? Yeah.
I hope so, bro. I really do. You know, I think we all got our different places that we're finding our own ways of communicating this to people, and everybody has to hear it from a different way. You know,
Yeah.
so like you say, the flat earth opens up so many doors that you can start on the other doors, you know, whether it's religion or politics or just what's going on in the world today. There's so much that we can approach this with and say, and then bring it right to the flat earth, because it does encompass all of it. It's just all going on the flat earth. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It is all of it, isn't it? And what you sort of come, that's the holistic part, isn't it? That you sort of look at it from the whole point of view. You know, you don't just. I see a lot of flat earthers, you know, questioning history, how far to think, evolution, you know, finding objects in the ground. You pointed some out earlier. Crazy. When was that created? How to think, when did things petrify?
Really?
Because they're finding anomalies, what's called out of place science. Oops.
Yeah.
Out of place, you know, like what? Yeah, it's there, isn't it? It's
Right,
always been there. Hey, the biggest one is the pyramids. That should be documented in time keep, as you brought up a great phrase before, Vikka, because what we don't know, could be this theory, it could be, you know, using water to elevate blocks. Now I've seen new crazy theories on who built the pyramids, but you know, and not only that pyramid, but the pyramids around the world. Because we're all, as kids, you know, pyramid, your mind instinctively goes to the Giza pyramid, the pyramid of
Right
Giza.
to the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Right to Egypt.
Not to mention the Bosnian, and there's like 12 pyramids in Greece, and there's pyramids in Italy, pyramids in
America.
Peru, America,
Yeah.
China, buried. That they buried? What buried the pyramids? And even the Sphinx and a lot of these things were buried at one point. Like, what buried them? That they had to unbury it to, you know, clear them out. Some major event happened. Was it a flood? Was it a flood that created the mud? You know,
or a weapon.
I'm not trying to do rhymes here, but, you know, because mud occurs after a flood naturally, doesn't it? You flood your back, you know, part of soil, it's going to modify. It's really crazy. And if you look at a lot of the wars back then, 1800s, you had soldiers like going through mud, like, unless it rained during that period. It could have as well. I'm not, you know, saying that was, because we don't know. Like, if there was this Tartaria thing, when do you reckon it happened as well?
Oh yeah, brother, absolutely. I think 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 also could be possible, or more. Like, the civilization has been living on this realm. We don't have no idea about 20, 30,000 miles around where we live around, and the controlled place we live. We don't even know what is beyond that, near to us. Forget about other realms and below and up, right? Only this physical plane. Right, so
we don't even know what's in the Pacific Ocean, which is like half the globe. It's all no-fly zone. Any boats, the capacity of the fuel wouldn't get us too far, because you have to get back. So you can't really go anywhere, and it's all roped off anyway. You know, there's buoys out there. If you trigger a buoy, they're gonna come and say, "Hi to you. What are you doing?"
I know, and that's where I when I was, you know, because I wrote this book, the Elusive Curve, and it's about a guy who was like us, you know, oh, you know, no way the Earth's flat, but then realized it is, and he's a multimillionaire. And what would be a modern day plan to do that? And have you seen those big planes with the solar panels along them?
yeah.
Yeah. They're called high altitude pseudo satellites, and they can fly for, or HAPS,
months,
and they can fly for months on end
months.
at 120, 150, even beyond the balloons, because balloons are limited by the helium, which will eventually equalize and, you know, go pop, and there goes your balloon. But these things can go for months and months and months. So this guy, Max Carter, he devises a plan, and as I said, he's a millionaire, because you'd have to be like Elon or someone with, you know, 10, 20 million just to throw away in a project. Who cares what happens? But he sends one of these things out and finds more land, and that's what it's about, without risking the lives of humanity. Because everyone keeps talking about, oh, let's get a ship and let's go to Antarctica. Yeah, right. I hate the cold, man. I'm not going with you, right? You know, no way. Yeah, I'm in Melbourne. It gets freaking cold here. I'm not going to Antarctica. And would you go on a plane? Well, but what about if you, oh man, now the military is going to come up. But what if you built a high altitude pseudo satellite and you eliminated the possibilities for them to track you through whatever coding you did to block out signals or whatever? And you did find more land and it was recorded. And, you know, I hope one day that's my, like, I'd love to, whether it's my lifetime or not, doesn't really matter. But I hope that gets done. Yeah, they should be doing that. NASA should have their satellites or these things, these solar, going around the ball this way and just show us a real-time satellite, even via high altitude. You know, don't do your, oh, the satellites are too far to see the globe and to see, you know, to take high resolution images. Therefore, we need Robert Simmons to create simulations. No, just get one of them and do north to south circumnavigate this ball while it's spinning. Do that. Do that. What's it going to do?
Those satellites, Billy, they don't even show us the moon.
No.
You know, they want, not one eclipse has ever been filmed by one of those satellites.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's a joke right there, if you ask me.
Still. And the amazing thing is that the globe earthers have been scrutinizing us for years, however, making preposterous claims like, you just wait till we go to the moon. You just wait till that next eclipse. You just wait till, you know, and nothing. So where do they sit? I kind of feel sorry for them because they must go to the beach or a lake when it's really calm, and their wife goes, wow, look how flat the water is. And they go, no, it's not. It's not flat. It's good. You know what I mean? How triggered. Like, imagine if it's like just in your head 24, everywhere they look. Oh, wow, it looks flat out there. Oh, yeah, perspective. Those flat earthers are right. But no, I will never admit the earth is flat. And that's where that, so I kind of feel sorry for them, but not that much, because they're the hardcore ones, the anti-flat earthers, right? And you've seen them, Vikka, you've seen them, Gene, and I've seen them, where they'll come after you, but they keep doing it day by day. But there's those ones that they will stay there forever, but there are other guys that are breaking free. Millions and millions and millions of people now. I'd say, I would dare say 10% of Australians would be flat earthers. Where? Or sitting on the fence, compared to 2014 when it was like, what, 1%? So where's it going to be?
Friends.
Sorry?
You and a few friends, right?
Exactly, yeah. Who you'd feel comfortable talking with them because you knew you weren't going to get persecuted. You wouldn't wear a flat earth t-shirt or, you know, I'm a flat, would you? Now you would. Now it sparks. I wore a NASA, you know, the NASA Lies t-shirt. NASA, I had one of them, and I walked into a venue, it was probably a couple of months ago, and even the security guard went, oh yeah, NASA Lies, we didn't go to the moon. I was like, oh man, this guy, he gets it, right?
A lot of people are at that stage.
Do you reckon we're going to go to Mars? And he went, oh, I didn't think about that. It was like, oh, cool. Because now he's going to think about them lying at what? They only lied about the moon. You know what I mean? That's like really narcissistic sort of thing. That, oh yeah, sweetie, I just went, you went out that night and you kissed that guy, but it was only once. Never happened again. Like, question everything, wouldn't you? From that point, no, yeah, you would, wouldn't you? Yeah, you'd have to. And it shows your wife would do that back to you if you did, you know, broke that vow. Yeah, so it goes both ways. Anyway, so people have got to think about it from a, you know, a philosophical point of view, a cosmological point of view, a cosmographical point of view, but even just your eye, what you see, You know, your eye is relative to everything. Your eye is eye. It's an eye thing. Yeah. I reckon we're gonna win. I reckon we're winning.
Little by little, bro.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
are. Yeah,
People
just
are
go,
waking up.
go look at some of the polls on Twitter and you'll see, because Facebook is rather like still manipulating the data, right? But if you go on Twitter and you see polls where channels go, you know, oh, is the earth round or is it flat? And they always use round because, you know, they're still learning shapes, but whatever, round or flat. And we're getting to sometimes
50-50.
yeah, 50-50,
50-50.
and even 60-70 going flat. So what's that about? What's that about? And these are not flat earth channels. These are channels with 500,000 people who are rather annoyed that their flat earth, you know, followers they like them, but they are hassling them about flat earth. And that's where we're at. So it's massive, mate. That's massive.
Oh, yeah,
Because
even
they're the
TikTok. Exactly, brother. Even TikTok is going, people are going crazy. There are
Really?
flat
Yeah.
earthers now with 50, 100,000 followers, with a million, 2 million views. TikTok
I know.
with
Who would have
thousands and
thought?
tens thousands of reacts and views, and
And who would have
so
thought, Vikka, 2 million views? No way. That's why I reckon your video on YouTube, you know, like maybe the numbers are real. Hey, YouTube, how you going? But maybe you haven't had 30,000 views on your mechanical river. Maybe it's like
brother, it's
3 million views, and the number got wrong somehow.
oh yeah, brother, they're censoring, but you know it was streamed on different channels, different platforms. There are different also on Rumble,
yeah.
Odyssey, BitChute.
Yeah.
It's in different languages, subtitles, so they cannot hold it for long.
It's
Flatten the
unstoppable,
curve,
man. Yeah.
brother. Flatten the curve. Roughly only 2 hour is more than 20 million views without the
Wow.
downloads and everything, and in more than
Really?
5 to 6 languages subtitled.
Wow. Congratulations, man. That was
And
and for your first one, that is massive, right? Yeah, that is huge to do that. Like, could you imagine how many, you know, professional documentary makers have struggled to get even 50,000 views? Yeah, so, and the truth, you know, what's that saying? There are three things, you know, they can't hide: the sun, the sun, the moon, and the truth. And that's all you're doing there. You didn't force anyone to think. You're just presenting information in your documentaries, aren't you? I never once heard you say you must think like that. You know, it's like it's a did you know? Did you know about this? Did you know about aircraft and pilots that don't account for the curve? And you know, it's that zetetic method of inquiry, if you like, where you know, I think that's the best way. I was sparked a thought just then. That's the best way to move forward for us. So not to fight with people, not to go, hey, I'm a flat, but ask them, what proof do you have that you live on a spinning ball? Do you know how fast they claim the Earth spins at various locations, at latitudinal locations of the Earth on a alleged spinning, and get them to think about it? And I reckon that's a good way to not fight anymore. We don't need to fight, do we? I try and avoid that at all costs, to be honest. Can I take a quick break?
oh yeah, sure, brother. This is the thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll mute me. Thank you.
So yeah, they create, right, that on every level we are divided, because in the end people get too compassionated about defending their truth, right? And it's not going to be easy also there, as Billy was also mentioning, right? There are people always there trying to put you down and right? And contra argument, debates, and twisting and lies and manipulation of evidence and truth and making people not believe their own senses, right? It's happening on big time also right now. The same amount of exposure flat earth is getting, the same amount of pressure is also it's getting, because now it's all about information and disinformation. Everything is going to be right there in front of us, but there's going to be a lot of confusion around that thing so that people don't get it. So it's to twist it more. So they have a lot of bots and people working on this to constantly be against flat earthers, like dedicated, right? To twist, to lie against what they say, to come up with bullshit, right? On daily basis, that's happening. They're updating everything that the flat earthers are putting out. They're updating.
Yeah, right. They're learning this from us.
Exactly. Exactly. They're learning their mistakes from us. We are pointing shit out so they can go and correct or twist it in a better way.
Yeah, bro. Neil deGrasse Tyson just recently did a video about the three-body problem.
But they're freaking listening every soundbite.
Yeah, man. They're watching because they know that their model is so flawed. They don't know what we're going to figure out next. Neither do we.
Oh yeah, we've figured out a lot already.
I know. I figured out one, and I really love it. And I got to create a meme or something about it. But what's the formula for when hydrogen and helium combined create gravity and nuclear furnaces, right? Billy, did you hear that? You're on mute, bro.
I didn't. Sorry about that. I'm back.
Billy, I was wondering if you ever heard what the formula is for when does hydrogen and helium combine to form gravity?
Very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what is gravity? But I
Fake.
must admit, did you just push me in the deep end? Yeah, what is gravity? And that triggered me. When I heard flat earthers were questioning gravity, that was like, what? No way. A proven theory. But what is it?
Drop something, right? Drop a mic.
Yep, I see that occurring. Cool. That occurs. But do we see objects attracting to each other? No.
Yeah. Which gravity, right?
Yeah.
They have a third now,
Oh, more than, yeah.
They used to have two. Newtonian gravity, mass attracting mass, and then Einstein gravity with the bending and warping of space-time. And now there's a new one. I'm not too sure exactly how to explain it.
They even go with, it's called entropic gravity. Is that the one?
Okay.
Entropic gravity, because entropy, is like part of chaos. So they've realized
thermodynamics, right?
Yeah. So I've realized this thing has to be chaotic in a way. Well, the whole theory is chaotic, so is this why they call it that? But then you got specific gravity as well. Specific gravity, if you Google that, it simply means density and buoyancy. That's all it is. Okay, gravity. Okay, what does that word mean? Gravity being gravitas in Latin, heavy. Of course, heavy things are going to fall. And the heavier it is, like if I drop a toothpick on my foot, doesn't really hurt that much. But if I drop a 1 kilo brick on my foot, that's going to freaking hurt. So what was the difference there? Was it this pulling effect, or was it the weight of? There was this pulling effect of Newtonian, Einsteinian, entropic. You know, which one? What was it? What's going on here? You know, and why didn't these guys not factor in? I'm not saying they were being dishonest. You know, it was Newton being dishonest, or did he just not experience the things we experience? Like, did he fly in an airplane? Did he have a television? Remember those televisions in the old days where you'd see the dust attracting to the TR, you know, the old TVs,
And
1970s.
put a magnet up to it.
Yeah, you know, and it was almost a Ferrocell effect, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, back then.
You
Did
know,
he
you gotta
not?
wonder though, Billy, because you know they have the Nazca lines, right? And they have the star forts all over the world.
No.
The commonalities between the buildings, like here in America, they're mostly like official buildings, and a lot of hospitals, police stations, post offices, stuff like that. Federal government buildings are all so many of them look old world. So it makes me wonder if they had those airships for centuries before they
Old
told
world,
us.
old world indeed. And have you ever heard of Zigouras Heliopsychosis?
I have.
Yeah, the author,
Yeah.
and he
Did
was,
he
you
write
know, one
Chariot of
of
Gods?
and he was one of the 6 people that could that deciphered the Sumerian tablets and the language, apparently. But I've got his books, and I want to go back, and I want to wonder what he says about Sumeria, because you know what I did
This is
recently, and this is trippy, but I looked for not images, or just depictions of Jesus preaching to the crowd, or something like that. And you look behind, okay, Jesus is there, and he's got his, you know, like it's they're drawings. But whoever depicted these drawings had massive Tartarian buildings behind Jesus. Go Google it, and you'll go, what? Because I always thought Jesus would be like just sermoning amongst, you know, the caves, and, you
Yeah, living
know,
in
in a
tents.
shack. Yeah, in
yeah,
a shack.
Yeah.
what do you mean that these guys, and if you look at Babylon, if you look at, you know,
And
Jerusalem,
and the
you know,
machine, right? And the
yeah,
machines, how is it possible, right? With Jesus.
and that's where this whole thing, you know, without using that holistic, because I remember hearing that years ago. What the heck does that mean? But, you know, everything we see, everything, this holy thing, is that we're holy, you know, where do the words come from as well, and this division lately, what's going on? So there's a lot. I mean, division from what they're trying to do. They're trying to divide, constantly divide. But there's one thing that humanity can agree upon, is where we live, and that it's motionless. And I think we have the chance to change the future in a way, to change what they wanted our future to be, with these dystopian movies that they kept portraying over the years. None of them are good movies. None of them have an ending where we win. It's, oh, maybe Terminator was Sarah Connor. Maybe you're the John Connors of the world that they were
Or the
afraid of.
Neo.
The JC, John Connor, if you like, you know.
Yeah, right.
So where are you guys with creation? Like, you obviously believe in a creator?
For sure, brother. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Gene?
100%, bro.
Awesome.
You know, and when I was a space fan years ago, I always thought that God, if you know the creator, call him God, I thought God just took some dust and blew dust out, and then created us and wanted us to go figure out what he created for us, you know, and come back. When you die, you go back and you tell your father the story of your great life you had, and all the great people you met, and all the fun you had down there with his creation. That's what I always thought space was. You know, but you know what? I tell you what, man, being in the mechanical realm is really special for me because, you know, I think the spirits give you little clues during your life, and when you're young, we're so much more connected, right? So a lot of those clues stuck with me. And one of them was, why don't the stars ever change position? That freaked me out so bad for my whole life. It's just like, that's wrong. That's just wrong.
So
It
you're
can't be
searching,
like
trying to connect that dot, and you finally got there. Going, that's why. Yeah,
exactly, bro. Yeah. So it was really like a full circle for me. It was so cool.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I ever did that when I was younger. Like, no, I don't think. No, I don't think I did. Not to that extent of why are the stars or no, I didn't do that. I was kind of brain. Look, I think they didn't even tell us anything about that at school, actually. And when I was young, they told us that the phases of the moon. So we see when it's terminate a line. They said that was created by the Earth shadow. So the models changed. They
I
kept
remember
changing.
that too, Billy.
Do you remember that? Yeah,
Yes,
I thought I was
do.
like. I've spoken to a lot of people, so I'm going, no, that's not true. But a lot of people,
And light
yeah,
and light traveling in straight line also,
yes,
right? And
yeah.
now many things they change. Oh, go ahead, Gene.
No, I was gonna say I'm only a couple of years older than you, Billy. So I remember that version of it. And I don't
Yeah.
remember it changing until like years later. And I was like, oh, they figured it out, I guess.
I know.
Oh,
Because I remember even
whatever.
getting into this debate to start with. I go, and I'd mention, they go, and the new age heliocentric, or whatever you want to call them, globe earthers would go, no, that's wrong. I go, no, I was taught that. I was actually taught that at school. Right?
Bro.
But I wasn't taught about Eratosthenes' experiment. Well, as mentioned before, Mikkelsen Morley, any of the other, no, just it was very specific to. Look, our teachers probably were taught that. I'm not saying my teacher went out and lied to me, any teachers watching, probably not.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Even I remember, like early in my school time, doing a science experiment by putting 3 or 4 boards with holes and passing a light and showing that light travels in a straight line. I remember that.
Right, cool.
I fucking remember that. I'm speaking maybe in my 3rd standard or 4th standard. Imagine how long is that? I'm fucking 50 now. I'm going to be completing 50 this year. And I still remember that shit. What?
I said you look great for 50, brother. Good on you, man. I'm 54. Like, a bit of grey hair happening now, But it's great. I love it, But yeah, that's amazing what you said. So they're teaching you things through experiment, but when you go out in the world, you're going to accept
it's not working. Yeah.
This upside down, inverted science. Because for me to be in Melbourne right now, I'd have to be upside down. This is up. Actually, see what you're seeing here? This is flipped over. Seriously. And we're antipodes to each other. Yeah, but we're just that way. And you're that. Yeah, I love it.
There it is.
That's better. I feel better now. Man, that was like, really it was getting to me, that.
And thanks for giving us the sun back after the long winter we had.
I know. Yeah. How do the seasons work? And I think that's part of, because there's a lot to decipher, number one, and to do your due diligence on, number two. Don't just decipher and go, okay, you got to due diligence, like be a detective to get through this process. But a lot of people don't have a detective mind. They'd they see crimes occurring in front of them and think it's just normal, that now, or not now, but so you got to break through that. And I think once you do, and then go out and see the world, go out, test the curve, if you like. Right? That's a big thing. Once you see beyond what you should be seeing, it just breaks the whole thing and go, wow, is it bigger? Is the Earth a bigger ball than they've told us? Well, if that's the case, then it needs to be spinning twice faster, 3, whatever your new model is, because everything needs to be reconstructed. Distance of the sun to Venus to all the stars and planets in the, well, not but planets. So yeah, it's a huge, I hope I hope more and more people could just like not fight about this. Yeah. What about you guys? Where are you with this? Do you guys get trolled often, or not trolled, but do you get engaged with the fight now, or you just like move on?
I used to before with my Facebook group, then I stopped. Now recently I'm getting back that thing to start debating people. I started doing recently with my first ever debate was with McToon on Jeranism.
I saw part of that, to be honest with you. I don't agree, but for interrupting, but I can't watch that guy. He's just a friggin' don't waste your time with people
But
like
that is but that is the reason, was to show how fake these guys are.
Good on you, man. You got it.
When you really put real science in front of them, they have nothing.
Sometimes we've got to stand up and fight. We do. Yeah, good on you. I get that.
Just to sometime to show what these people are, and you know what I mean. So because if you see the mechanical realm and the flatten the curve, it's technical stuff. It's real science, real gadget instruments. No, there is no debunking of that. You can come up with any bullshit with diagrams and fake maths and pseudoscience. It's not working. Absolutely. A big shout out to our brother Matthew for that. Members, awesome brother.
Good on you, Matthew.
And this is the thing, brother. So this is what it's all about. So it's good sometimes to get back to, to get things spiced up a bit. Also, like I've been also on TikTok lately, like debating PhDs and astrophysics. On Friday, I was on X Space. There's a Flat Earth Friday that many people get on, and I just jumped on for a bit. Yeah. I jumped on for a bit the other day, first time, was good experience, right? But it's just to fine tune things up.
They're cool. That channel is cool. Flat Earth Fridays on X. Yeah, look it up.
Yeah,
because it goes for several hours, doesn't it?
To almost 20 hours or 24 hours.
Yeah, like, man, it's a cool show. Jump on that, guys, and I like, promoting things like that. But that's good that you're still doing that, Vikka. And I just try not to, debate. Like, if someone's coming at me and they're being rude, and same with you, just ignore it. Just like let them go, because that's what they're trying to do, bring negative energy to the discussion. And it's,
yeah, but it's also it's a good way to also fine tune your things, right?
That's true.
We are new stuff coming.
So good on you, and I hope MC, he's probably, I don't know if he listens to this shit, to us talking our stuff, because he probably is like very tuned to his stuff. But anyway, if he listens to this, he's losing. He's got nothing new. And I hope he finds a way, but he won't, because my thing with debating is never at the end of the show we go, oh yeah, I was wrong, you were right. Does he ever agree? Did he ever agree on one thing you said, Vikka, or about your presentation about the Antikythera? Did he say, oh, that was interesting, man, that was amazing?
No, he didn't have any idea about what is Antikythera mechanism or the cosmograph. He didn't have idea about the ADI, the instrument. And these people, then they claim they are like science guys, He
didn't even watch it. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
So he didn't even watch your deck. Yeah.
Exactly. I say to him, you are doing a subject that is so dear to him, flat earth or globe earth is the biggest, right? And you have not seen a device that destroys your model. You didn't get time?
No.
Dude,
or explain it on your model, or what did they think? Or how did they do that? Wow, that's amazing. Look, I don't agree with you, Vikka, on your claim that it's geocentric, but move my glasses a bit, and with my rockets and balls in the back. But amazing. That was pretty cool. Like, how'd they make that? How'd they do gears back then? Really, gears back then? Nothing. It's nothing whatsoever. So I like it when sometimes you see people, they're quite genuous out there. You get a lot of globe earthers, they are genuous, and you see this genuine. You can have a genuine discussion, but that guy is I don't know where, and a lot of the other ones. And I block them now. Just like, see you later. You're not going to be. I'm not going to waste my time with you.
Oh yeah, there are some. I know what you're speaking about, brother. There are lots of trolls also on Facebook, right? They dedicate their time to be just behind. I know that, brother. So the best thing is to avoid, brother. Don't entertain them.
I think so as well. Don't entertain them. Just move, and other people deal with them now anyway. So it's like there's the soldiers coming behind the frontliners, right? So exactly. Just let them go. Oh shit, man! Oh wow, But it's real science that'll prove it, and they don't. What is real? So what we observe, what we see, and what we're seeing by the other side is very, as I said, disingenuous. There's no real stuff. You'll never see them go outdoors and conduct an experiment. Yeah, a collective thing. They should have proven it. They should have shut us down years ago.
Right. I was going to say, they can't do any experiments, Billy. All the experiments they have are these super high-tech Neil deGrasse Tyson experiments that otherwise they're going to show themselves a flat Earth with a simple camera.
The amount of bullshit these people are coming up with against flat Earth truth, you guys cannot believe it.
Yeah. But you know really? What Gene just said, how they go, they come up with Neil deGrasse Tyson bullshit. But now I chat with a lot of these guys, and they hate Neil deGrasse Tyson. So the globe earthers are starting to go, nah, I don't like him. What do you mean? Why? Oh, you know why they don't like him? Because he occasionally drops a few truth bombs, like when he says that stuff is flat from 120,000 feet. Because if the Earth is a ball, right, and 120,000, it's like 10 miles, or no, it's about 30 miles, I think, above. So if you had a ball and go New York to, is it Manhattan? How far is that? Is that like
Manhattan is in New York.
Sorry?
Manhattan is part of New York.
But so what's another state, like not another state, but another in New York state, something 30 miles away.
30 miles from Manhattan?
30, yeah.
I
don't know, whatever that region. But imagine that 30 miles up over a ball of 24,000 mile circumference. That's like, as Neil deGrasse Tyson said, that stuff is flat from up there. You're only 2 millimeters above this beach ball, technically, aren't you? Yeah? That's my point. So how do people expect to see curvature from the Felix Baumgartner claim? So point being that even Neil deGrasse Tyson has given us a couple of truth bombs. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's why they hate him. Yeah, and we bring that up a lot. We bring that up a lot.
Yeah, that he used the wide angle lens. You would not see the curve of the Earth from that height. That's why the globe earthers have turned against him too. Do you know what I mean?
He's arrogant.
And he's arrogant, yeah. But I have a lot of globe earth. So if I bring up even Neil deGrasse Tyson, if I bring up that in a chat or whatever discussion with someone, and I say even Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't believe you can see curvature at 120,000 feet. They go, oh, I don't really like him anyway. What?
So, but that doesn't mean he's not speaking the truth, whether you like him or not, right?
I know, yeah. And what about, do you like it when he says the Cincinnati Tigers football team, the guy hit the goal? a field goal, and it went through because he timed it, and it went through the goals because the Earth was spinning. Do you like that one? Oh yeah, that one's true.
That
With
one's
the flat Earth.
hysterical. You know,
Crazy.
he claims to have, while they were setting up a field goal kick, he got the orientation of the football field. He knew which way it was pointing, and was able to calculate that the Coriolis was going to affect that football to make. That's just so.
It's so insane. Have you ever watched AFL football, like Australian Football League, like AFL, where they kick between the goals? Go watch it one day. The longest kick is 100 meters, like from the center ground, bang through the goals. What about ski jumpers? Ski jumpers, they're like 200-300, like through. Imagine Coriolis effect. Does that affect ski jumpers? Yeah, no, nothing but bullets and just whatever else. And footballs. Bullets and footballs, that's it.
The thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson is that he wants to show that he's so smart in comparison to the rest of the people that he screws it up. He tells the truth.
Yeah. That's what happens, right? When you try too hard and he's unnatural.
He always wants to sound like
he knows the Earth's flat, man. Hey Neil, how you going, mate?
I think he knows. Me and Keith split on this because Keith doesn't think he knows, but I think he knows because he's got to counteract this stuff. So
they know that's his job. That's what he gets paid for. Go do that, Neil.
I think he knows.
Shut it down.
He can't be caught by surprise with something.
And what has he ever done? Like, does Neil, apart from dropping the microphone in that thing he did, what has he ever done?
Zero.
Show us an experiment. Zero. Go in a vacuum chamber, Neil, in a spacesuit, and let's go to zero to lock you down in this suit, man. Like, no way they do it in a 1970s suit. Go try that one.
With zippers and buttons, right?
I know, yeah.
And I was asking a friend of mine about why doesn't NASA or the private sector get together and create fireman suits with this stuff?
I know.
And he's a fireman. He's like, funding. What? I'm like, don't give me that.
I was going to post a meme before, but you've probably seen it. When was the last time you saw them solve a crime using a satellite? Yeah, zooming in. Because when I was young, hey guys, what about this one when we were young? They would say, said, and I think it was a movie called The Enemy of the State with Will Smith and Gene Hackman, or maybe he was in it. I think he was. But they said they could read the writing of a basketball with a satellite when I was young. Do you remember that? No? Yeah. That's what they would tell us. Hey, we can zoom in with a satellite, and it creates this fear factor. Shit. Sure. But what crime have they ever solved with that sort of MH370 is still missing?
Yeah, right.
Thousands of satellites. And you can't find this missing plane? Yeah. Well, really? Really? Where are they going? They're all pointing outward. No, apparently there's a lot pointing inward.
The plane, as we mentioned also in the Flatten the Curve, is mentioned by the pilot that the planes are not being tracked when they are above the oceans. They are flying blind, literally, for 8 hours straight, not only over oceans, also some places over land. Where is all your satellites? Where is all your money? That's
I heard the flight can in a plane, they can piggyback, obviously, just like our towers do on Earth, right? They piggyback communication. This tower, that, and they have that on planes. But to go 8 hours out there with nothing to ping off, ping off that plane or that nothing, that satellite. It'd be scary, it'd be just as scary as the
They will
sailors
close.
at the time.
Exactly, they will close NASA, brother. If the people realize that all this money that they are taking in name of satellite, and they think that there some satellite is tracking them when they are flying over the oceans, it's a misconception. They took 2 years even to find the wreckage of Air France that landed in the somewhere near US in the Atlantic. 2 years, you know.
You're
So
right. You're right.
even the one you said about the Indonesian airlines, they
Yeah.
still didn't find it, not even the wreckage nor the plane. Where the hell
Just
is your
theories.
satellite?
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Just theories.
ask the pilots themselves. Don't listen to us. Go and ask the pilots themselves how they have to fly blind and with dead reckoning over these
That's
vast
good.
distances.
Hey, you just sparked a thought, Vikka. So imagine now going, I'm going to go on that route. And you go, no, I better not. I love my family. I love my kids. I love my Porsche. I love my boat. You're not going to do it, right? No, I'm not going to that. True. Because not everyone, but a lot of people are materialistic. And not only materialistic, but even love your life. Like, yeah. So it's very
Stay
it's
grounded,
yeah, stay
Stay
grounded. Yeah, because I love ground as well. I was like, no, no. Yeah. But there's a lot to learn from when you dive into this topic, isn't it? Not only from the ancients, what you've discovered with the Antikythera mechanism, as well as many other that connect to it, but it connects, you start connecting so many other dots about the discrepancies of history, if you like, because there are many discrepancies that we have thought about and we've moved on from. You just go, oh yeah, whatever, you get busy, but there are truthers like that, like us, that just want to know. And whether we will know everything, I don't think there's ever that you could ever do that. But we're unlocking truths, like hidden truths, and I think that could be a big thing for the future. Yeah, like things that students will question, question the narrative, the mainstream narrative, I should have said. Yeah.
Oh yeah, brother. We are showing a bit of light. Go ahead, Gene.
I was going to say, yeah, question everything from the narrative, and I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't think 10% of the historical narrative is accurate, and the other 90% is just completely false. There might be a couple of little truths of hints of truth in there, but I don't believe much of any of it. Watch, Billy. You'll see when you get through watching the Mechanical Realm, it's gonna stick with you, and you're gonna realize some things afterwards, bro.
Every
I've
time
watched
you
I've watched it before, but I'm rewatching it now. But
and
Cool.
every time you watch it, brother, you're gonna more rabbit holes are gonna
well,
open up.
you know what? This time, because I was so intrigued to get to the part where you started talking, or when you guys started presenting, I skipped the main narrative at the start. That main narrator with her voice like that, and the dialogue was like not the dialogue. The monologue was brilliant. Like who did that? Do you want to? Yeah. Anyway, so
Oh yeah,
when you
brother.
watch it, you can't just watch something once. You got to keep go, and you'll pick up gems along the way, and that's what I'm doing on rewatching it. Probably the third time now, I'd
Cool.
say. Yeah, because
Bro, I spent a solid 9 months researching and developing what I did for my parts in that. And I've watched, I don't know how many times I've watched it, probably, 6, 8, or 10 even,
good on you. Yeah, good,
And
good.
I'm still like, oh wow, with certain things, I'm just like, oh wow. And history is
Even
a
in,
big
even with you, you're learning like
Yeah.
through it, aren't you? Yeah, I hate watching the stuff I do, but every time I do, like you learn, and aren't we all? Aren't we growing? What are we experts in? Did you expect to be doing this at this time of your life? I didn't. I thought I'd be
Nah,
like just doing normal shit like everyone else, you know?
yeah.
Now even the trolls on TikTok call me the Antikythera guy. All right, they know very
Ooh,
well because
nice,
people are bringing it up so much in the debates and showing the
nice.
people that they don't have another way, and they like they're
Winning.
literally scared with the oh yeah brother, this is the thing, right? These are gonna be lighthouse maybe for the future generation to look
I agree,
forward,
man. I
and
agree.
including your book, brother, including your book, and yeah, tell us about also your book a bit because we are almost 20 minutes around left for this awesome
Oh, cool. Yeah,
conversation.
there was a
So
part. So there's a part in my book, and I think it's like page 172. But it actually says further proof of the ancient Greek solid belief and understanding of a geocentric system in the Antikythera is the Antikythera mechanism, which was recovered from a shipwreck of the coast of a Greek island. Sorry, lighting is a bit hard here. Of a Greek island, Antikythera, in 1901 by a group of Italian pearl divers. So I dive into this thing in my book. It was fascinating to me because I think the most fascinating part of it was my belief was that the Greeks always proved the Earth was
with the
spherical,
ball,
you know,
exactly. You
erosive, and
didn't get
all of
it.
it.
You were
Yeah,
there, but you didn't get it what it was trying to say because the Greeks did say about the Earth being a sphere, but the cosmos. They're saying the cosmos is a sphere and the
the
plane of
celestial
inertia.
sphere, right?
Exactly. And the
Yeah,
plane of inertia, the
yeah,
toroidal field, they were literally, these people took what they want according to their convenience.
and
Till
inverted it, didn't they?
exactly.
Yeah,
That's why they
yeah,
are
yeah,
with the Pythagoras. They are saying about
yeah.
that stick and shadow, right? They are counting the Greeks to take them to their ball. But no,
To be
they literally knew what was the cosmos.
Yeah, but to be honest, like I think Pythagoras and Aristotle, like these guys were very, very intelligent. If they were
Exactly.
who they are,
Real.
they were very intelligent and wise and looked upon. Everyone would be there. If that was the case that these guys were so smart, everyone would be, what do you think about this? And what do you think? They would not make such claims that the Earth is a sphere without proof. They're like, what do you mean by that? Do you really think everyone believed them? They would be laughed upon to first claim that we live on a ball. Like, what? Really? So I think they've used these guys who maybe were smart, maybe they weren't. Like if you research Tartaria, like were they really even real people, right? But my point being is that no, I don't believe these guys, or even Newton, or even Copernicus, and you'll see through their writings, they never once claimed that as this is my solid belief. They all um, left it open for future generations to discover, didn't they?
Exactly.
Wouldn't you
But
say? Yeah.
it's twisted. It's twisted by them. This is the thing. But as we said, but the truth defends itself. All right. It had to come. It had to come again so that the people understand, right?
It's
As
like a
you as
lion.
exactly, exactly. I think that Poseidon made those two storms happen so that knowledge stays underwater as a time capsule and discovered now 100 years ago, and now with the technology, because these people spend 20 years in researching this, and even today, till today, they don't tell the real purpose of this device. We know that.
I love that, man. I love that. You know why? Because being a Greek, they used to believe in the Dodecothion, the 12 gods. and one of them was Poseidon, and one of them was Zeus, and the fire, and one of them was Athena, and she was the god of love. So I've heard people go,
And Gaia.
God, yeah, Gaia, and people go, oh God, help me, and then someone goes, well, which God, right? Because if you want God, if you want love, you better ask Athena for love. You want help while you're in the ocean, you better go Poseidon help. Like he'll go, oh, God help me. It's like, which God, right? They're all looking down at you. These 12, Dodikotheon. Dodika means 12 in Greek. Dodikotheon. Yeah. Now I sound like one of those Greek guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, brother.
But
And
I think the words are. I love Greek because, as I said, when I was at school, I never would have intertwined the knowledge I have now with. I would have passed tests like that. Just what does heliocentric mean? Or helio, set in the middle. But you ask people now, heliocentric, they look at you like, you lost your plot, right?
Yeah.
So we're educating.
I got a question, you guys.
You're educating what you're doing.
I have a question, guys, about Eratosthenes. They said Alexandria and Said are 500 miles apart from each other, right? How did they know at the same time it was 12 o'clock here and 3 o'clock over there? How did they know it was 12 o'clock there and vice versa? They had no
iPhone.
clue.
They had an iPhone.
Yeah. And not even that, you're right, not even that. I mean, on top of that, what about elevation and how far was the sun?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of. And what about refraction? Well, we're going to do refraction, but you had no refraction. There's a lot of factors with that experiment, if you could call it an experiment. And let's say the sun went around you would have the same. You could probably measure, yeah, but you're not measuring. You're measuring a circle, because if you had, imagine the biggest circle you could draw, and you had two things, and the sun's going around, it would create a different shadow. But are you measuring sphericity? No, because if we look around us, don't we? We all have this round. You turn around you. So was he really measuring? Look, I don't even believe the character was real. Do you?
Right.
Do you, Gene? Or
I haven't dug that apart. But
I was never taught about him at school. How about you?
Never heard of the guy.
Never heard of him.
He did one thing that lasted throughout history.
Yeah.
And you know what he did to find the distance between him and his friend was he hired professional walkers.
Professional walkers. I do that as well. Yeah.
Whatever that. I never heard of professional walkers either.
Yeah. Maybe it was like the old school Uber sort of system. Professional. Like,
even if it was a cow cart, it's gonna take months, right? To reach. Right.
Yeah, if you measured the rotation of the wheel, still inaccurate, bro. It's there's no way you're gonna measure a wheel turning accurately. You'd have to have a multitude of different checkpoints to keep each other in balance to do something like that.
Yeah,
they rewrite. Yeah, go ahead, Billy.
The whole narrative falls apart. It's very whimsical, isn't it? It's like flimsy, if you like, right?
Really weak.
There's nothing there. That's really our proof. That's the proof. But we go out and see further, and we've got P900, P1000 telescopes, and whatever device you want to use that debunk that. But you got to still believe Eratosthenes. Yeah, and
right.
And Aristotle, who, the claim is that Aristotle at the beach, he saw the boats disappear and they were hull first. Oh, sorry, bottom hull first, and the mast would eventually, and that was his. But they had no telescopes back then, no binoculars. There was no optical advice to prove what he claimed. But do you reckon you could go to the beach and see that with your own eyes? You can't.
Not that detailed.
Even at mine, no, you can't. Not that detailed. So where does that claim come from as well?
Yeah.
I don't believe any of the ancient.
Good point.
Yeah, it's like how could he do that? You couldn't.
They took today's
Even if you had
version of it.
20/20 vision. Yeah.
Yeah. So they took today's version of it and brought a piece of it back into history and like whitewashed it.
Yeah, they must have, because it was a very, like, if they touched on that topic with me at school, it was like just boom. It was like it was a 5-minute topic of discussion, not even 5 minutes, so to be exaggerating, because I don't think they did that, and they never took us to the beach to test the curve. Should be a thing, shouldn't it? Instead of taking to the zoo to watch, hey, let's prove where we live. What experiments do they do at schools anymore? They don't. Yeah, anyway.
Oh, yeah, even the sundials have been thousands of years they've been using sundials.
Yeah.
All right. It's their own science destroys them. Yep.
Yep, and about which is clearly the sun moving, to the opposite claim that we're spinning. That's huge. When you get to that point, you go, far out, am I really spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, whatever speed they claim? Because now they'll come up with the 0.006 RPM claim. Have you seen the globe earthers do that? You're not spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. No. They've changed that. It's only 0.006 RPM, like a clock. You don't see the hour handle, yeah? So they've tried to, they obfuscate reality, with
you know
theory.
why that's wrong, Billy? Because 1,000 miles an hour is 1,000 miles an hour. No matter if you're a fly or if you're the size of Jupiter, it doesn't matter. It's 1,000 miles an hour, and that's why. Oh, but we're so big, you can't.
You can't relativity, and they bring for sure.
That's not true. And water is a motion sensor. They say that we're being that we're in an elliptical path that speeds up and slows down. Water doesn't pick that change of speed up at all, ever. And it would have to. It would have to do that.
And even that RPM claim is bullshit, because RPM can be converted to miles per hour, and you can actually take miles per hour and convert it to RPM. Exactly. So if you have a lathe that spins metal or wood or whatever, or a milling machine, there are two modes, like RPM and speed, like relative speed, kilometers or miles per hour. So they can't use that. Like, it's just, you can't turn around and change what they've said for thousands of years, because we've all seen their model where they say it spins at 1,000 miles an hour, but now they want to go, it doesn't suit them, right? It doesn't suit their narrative, because it affects Coriolis effect. It affects how planes fly. It affects the have you heard the claim where they say we have an equatorial bulge at the equator because it spins and it creates an equatorial bulge? So how could it create equatorial bulge if it wasn't spinning so fast? Because it was created by this spin to start with. So they say in one instance that we're not spinning fast. However, it does spin fast enough to create an equatorial bulge. So it's all these discrepancies, and you've got to dive deep. And I'm trying to, I know I'm going all over the place, but I hope people can get that. Just look at the discrepancies in the model and do it with due diligence, like you're buying a business or a home or a car or, something important to you. Do it with that. Do it with the same skepticism You know, is this guy trying to sell me a lemon? Because maybe the heliocentric model is a bit of a lemon, or maybe pear-shaped, if you like, you know, a pear-shaped lemon. You know,
I don't know how the people cannot see that, from being a ball to a pear, and nobody's asking that, and people getting away with it. It's crazy stuff. Yeah, sometimes,
and the mockery, like,
deception. Exactly, the
yeah,
mockery, the
pear
deception is
shape, pear, like, and no one even, you know, he can get away with flippant claims like that, right? Pear shape, like, really?
He can say anything he wants, that guy. Did you hear this from Billy? He's got a video out about suction cups, and he said
Didn't see that.
it's not atmospheric pressure. It's the atmospheric pressure that pushes the cup down, and it's all the weight of the air pushing down on the cup. I swear to God, that's what he said about suction cups. I can't find it anymore. I was looking for it about a week ago. I couldn't find it.
They just, like, under the rug, like, get rid of that.
Bro, it was
And
terrible.
pressure is so interesting, isn't it? Pressure is this, because I've actually got a pretty large fish tank inside. It's 1,000 liters, but she's been leaking, so it's like do slow drip, drip, drip. So at the top, when it's full, right, full fish tank, it drips faster than when I've let it get to half level to see what would happen, because everything's pressing. This top water here is pressing on every, you know, it's not gravity
yeah,
though. It's
8 pounds
pressure,
a
you know.
gallon.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
got, yeah,
That's
everything's
why.
pressing
When you
down.
go
And I got to
under the
halfway,
water.
and I'm like listening, and I've got made a reservoir to like counteract the drip, and it doesn't drip into my, you know, like I know how water works, so it drips into another drain, and I did that on purpose. My wife goes, "That's pretty fucking smart what you did," but it was too measure. Like I had to go, hang on, why is it dripping faster here than there? Because the water's pressing now. Imagine you have, you know, 5 cats on top of each other. The bottom cat would feel the weight of all. Like it's like so simplistic that we don't need the theory of Newtonian, Einsteinian, or any other gravity. You know, it's just
Exactly. As today I was
physics.
mentioning, Billy, as just today I was mentioning in one of the lives, right? That the pressure, you feel the pressure of the water when we are underwater. After certain limits, it's unbearable, right? The
Yeah,
same
yeah,
thing happens with the land. The land has its own pressure. The more deeper you go, the miners cannot go up to a certain limit. There's a pressure. The air, the same thing is happening. The
yeah.
gases, everything happens. So everything has an order of a layer depending on their density and pressures, and they all are looking for equilibrium, right? That's what they're looking for.
Man,
that
that's so.
is that's why is the reason why all the phenomena, the weather phenomena, the currents, the clouds, the gases, right?
And what
That's why
about the creature? And what about the creatures? I mean, you just triggered a thought in my head, because in my fish tank I've got turtles, goldfish, and cichlids with those yellow South Africa. I think they're South African cichlids, beautiful looking creatures. But you know what? They all stay at different levels, and they feed at different levels as well. So the goldfish will eat up here, and these guys will go. So everything is finding its own like territory, if you like, as well. I don't know if that was
exactly
for
till
you.
up to the so-called low Earth orbit, if you want to call that, if there is something that exists. Like this is all equilibriums of pressures and
Yeah,
densities.
yeah. Like
There is no such thing as gravity.
can birds fly higher than yes, there are
Exactly,
birds.
and they don't
Yeah,
curve. And they don't curve. The bird never flies in curve. The vector is up and vertical, right? But they're not. So this is the thing. There is no,
yeah. No, I
and
love it. I love it. Because now
and
you
there's
just
a,
sparked another thought. What about all the whales? You remember when you hear that the whale migrations across the world and the birds migrating from this part to that, and it all makes
South America
far
to
more
Canada.
sense. Yeah, doesn't it? It makes far more sense on a flat plane, if you like, that they're going from here to over there, from this part of the pond to that part of the pond, if you like, right? You know, and
Oh yeah.
That's
and
it. They got
even sonar with the whales and dolphins, and when their sonar can't bounce
Exactly.
around this sphere.
Thousands of miles, and some of
Mm.
these sounds reach thousands of miles.
And what is it anyway? Like, that's incredible in itself, right? But well, it's doing this around the sphere, just bouncing off the surface and then off the water, like a gear. It would have to almost be like a gear, wouldn't it? If it bounced around a sphere. But on a flat plane, it's doing this. It's quite amazing, yeah. There's a lot to learn. What's your next one,
Yeah.
Vikka? Tell me anything.
Next, yeah, we are almost time up, Billy. Flat Earth is so wide and expansive. Like, we could go anywhere, and this could always continue. Any topic on this. The thing is, the truth is right there. We don't need to prove flat Earth. Everything proves in itself, as we mentioned about the whales and the sonars and everything with the perception. Everywhere we see, when we walk in this nature, to the stars, to the sun, moon, everything is showing that this is an amazing creation, brother. The last thing before I wanted to discuss, before we having our last thoughts and all this stuff, there's some things that is coming up recently that I've seen, that they're speaking about, that all these fires that happened was to destroy all the flat Earth books and everything, and studies that was done in universities and libraries. So all the information of this flat Earth geocentric was burned during all these burnings of these cities and libraries.
Alexandria, yeah. And they
Not
reckon
only, and also the cities.
6 months, yeah. A 6-month fire in a city. Picture it, right?
6 months.
Yeah, I heard Jaron bring it up. Jaron from Journalism Channel, he brought up that the fire of Alexandria went for 6 months. But how? 6 months? They could build the building. They could build these amazing structures.
You could build it in 2 years.
Put the fire out, come
In
on,
6 months.
guys,
They couldn't
Exactly.
take some books out and create a gap and stop it,
Nope.
But I think that might have been a fire there, but they swiped and confiscated everything good. They didn't, if there was something that was only one of them, they didn't burn it.
Yeah, but
they
the thing
kept
is,
it.
Gene, but could be right, the important stuff they took, but they cannot take everything, because if there has to be a whole libraries and libraries of information relating to that cosmology of that
Right.
geocentric flat Earth science that was thought all these years. That's a lot of information. They cannot just take all the libraries and leave it empty. Something has to burn. Only wood is not going to burn. There has to be books.
Yeah.
Well, they
But you
got
know what?
they do have the Vatican. Supposedly has a lot of stuff.
You know what I've been recently researching was the lighthouse of Alexandria, which is where the library was. Alexandria was in Egypt, and you got Alexandria in Greece. And apparently there was a lighthouse from Alexandria that they would shine. It was a special special focal point, not for special focal lens they would use that people would see from 100 miles away.
100
Yeah,
miles.
ships would use from 100 miles away. But now they've changed the narrative. There's various stories. Now it's 30 miles away because of the sphericity of the Earth, right? But I remember it being, and there's been documented 100 miles away. Go Google it. So you cannot see a lighthouse from that. Lighthouse of Alexandria, if you want to Google it. Yeah, amazing.
And I think that the library, they claim the library's burned right around 50 years or so when the Antikythera mechanism was supposedly built. So
Wow.
the timeline is so close. It doesn't nail it, but it's right there.
And what happened? And can we even, you know, claim with certainty that it was 2,000 years ago, or was it 1,000 years ago, or was it 700 years ago?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man, but I don't know. This world is amazing. I'm learning so much, and even just about, you know, even about this Yahweh guy, and you know, is he good or bad? I don't know. I don't even know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother. We could go anywhere, but
I
yeah, as
know.
I said, tell us where the people can find your book, and what are you up to in your coming near future? What are your ideas, brother? All yours. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I'm working. You can find my book. Oh, you probably can't see that. The Elusive Curve. Oh, like, I've got a green screen.
We have the links.
Theelusivecurve.com.
We have.
Or you have the link there, elusivecurve.com. But it's a novel about a guy who just, you know, starts thinking and tells his friends about that the earth is flat, and in their reaction, and seeing them evolve and question things. So it's kind of like what we went through. And I'm working on a sequel to that, but also another, you know, a couple of other projects. One thing I wanted, really want to promote here is a project I'm working on called Test the Curve Day. And I reckon what I want to do is do a collective experiment, the biggest of that's ever been conducted, and that is that we all get out on one day and share our experiments on testing the alleged curvature of the Earth. Because you've got to start there, and a lot of people, they probably see this, you know, these discussions online, but get outdoors and find a large body of water, a lake, an ocean, a bay, and test it for yourself, because until you do that, then it's hearsay, and it's very provable that we're living on a stationary Earth right now. Yeah,
Go ahead, Gene.
you're muted, Jake.
All right. So yeah, this is the thing. So you want an event where everybody's just doing some kind of observation in your local area,
One day,
like
yeah.
an event, right?
It's
So that
funny.
would be, yeah,
It's
that
funny
would
that
be
when
possible. Yeah, go
sorry to
ahead, Billy.
interrupt you, but it's funny that you did flatten the curve. You know, right at the time, wasn't it funny, Vikka, that when you were working on that documentary, they tried to do the flatten the curve thing. Remember that thing, right? But
Exactly.
at the time, I had an experiment going, test the curve day, and it was March 21st, 2020. And I think several days, like at the time, we were locked down. We got locked down. There was no test the curve. You couldn't even go anywhere, right?
Exactly.
But what I want to do is create um, just this worldwide collective experiment that's never been done before. That we all get out. If you want to do a high altitude balloon, if you want to go to the beach and take long distance photography, if you want to measure the stars, or you want to try and prove that like, do it, test this thing, and it should be done. It should have been done ages ago anyway. As I said previously, we should have gone to with school experiments
But
doing.
this is what I wanted to tell you, Billy. So the idea of how you say, the Facebook groups that we have was to do this, but the technology is not working in that sense. So TikTok is something, with the TikTok live, that is possible. That is what you're
I like
saying.
that. I like what you're saying. Yeah, I get you.
So what I mean is, like, if you really want to do that, you need to go on TikTok, make a TikTok account. You need at least 1,000 followers so that you can do your own lives, and you can
Gotcha.
invite people in real time, because we've been doing that
Well, I love
for a
what
few
you just
months.
said. I love
We
it. Yeah,
And there are people from everywhere, brother, Globers and flat earthers, jumping in different
I love
lives.
it.
You can invite people.
We can all go out on one night and go, can you see the moon? I can see the moon from Australia. You're like, really? That's
We
never
do
been
that.
done before.
100%,
This is what
bro.
we are doing. We are
That's
doing
what we
like,
need to do.
we had
The
one
moon
guy in
will do it, bro.
Australia.
And globe
Exactly.
earthers too, not just us. Everyone, all, all ilks.
So there's a possibility. Go and make an account. Do you have a TikTok account?
I started one, but I have like 3
So
followers.
go and follow me,
Yeah.
follow Gene, and follow
Okay.
people,
Okay.
and follow people whom we follow, right? And you're gonna start coming in
All right,
that crowd.
I think it's
And you're
about
gonna
They'll
just being
recognize you,
genuine.
Billy.
Like, genuine stuff, man. People want genuine things now, and
exactly.
we
And
can do
we've been,
this. Yeah.
Billy, one night, probably a year and a half ago, we were doing a live, and Matthew was in California. I was in New York. Vikka was in Spain, and all three of us saw the moon perfectly.
Beautiful.
And the funny thing is I saw it straight, like at my zenith, like right above. No, wait a second. It was off to the right. It was off to the west. And for Matthew in California, it was off to the east a little bit,
Right.
which means it could have been seen all the way out here as well.
Yep.
According to if it works out this way, it should work out this way also, right?
Billy, exactly. So the same thing we did, Gene. We did the same thing with the moon, and we did the sun. But on TikTok, one guy's seeing in Australia, he's saying for him the sun is setting. For me, it was noon, and for US, it was sun rising. We were doing these kind of things around before the eclipse, during the eclipse, where there were people in the eclipses. We were live doing that. We were doing live experiment with Hugo Boss. I think he's there in the chat. He's also from our TikTok. Hugo, doing live demonstrations of observations of island more than 70 miles, like stuff like this. And I mentioned Gene also, right, about Pookie, from another building to another skyline, right? Real time things, brother. Because because we have a technology right now, like with TikTok, that 10 people can be on live with their camera on, with like without any lags, speaking and showing things all at a time.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
We have to take advantage.
That's my big thing. Yeah, that's my.
We have to take advantage.
Yeah,
we have to take advantage of that. That's why I am also right now the TikTok flat earth community. Like now, they invite me a lot, different lives. They share a lot the mechanical RAM, the flatten the curve, right? They are there, and like we are trying to do more things with these kind of. So yeah, it's only possibility to grow, and you're gonna go crazy. How many people are there, like really waking up to flat earth? And right there, Hugo is there.
I've
right now in the chat.
I've seen some of the numbers. Like there's some discrepancy from 2 billion to some have posted 8 billion, which I'm not even sure, but it's in the billions that on TikTok alone. Have shown, people have searched for flat earth. So that's freaking huge. And if we can just get a portion of them to get out and conduct real experiments and test the with the technology and the sharing capability right now. And I hope that we can, I don't know, man, people argue. Yeah, we argue, but let's break through the argument, both sides of the fence. I don't care. And just do real stuff. Like, because if you could prove the earth is a globe, like if these guys could do experiments, they would be world famous. They're going to be the Newtons, the Copernicuses, the Einstein, aren't they? Just do it, man. I'll follow you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Get on TikTok, Billy. Get on
I will.
TikTok.
I just learned
And
a lot
also
there.
good way you can promote your book, brother. For sure, there will a lot of people who or know
I'm
about
gonna
your
do
book
it.
there
I'm gonna
already.
do it.
Get in the crowd.
I get
Follow
hated upon,
follow
man. I get
me.
hated upon for creating a book, like for
No,
sharing
brother, it's
creativity.
there. It's there. It's there.
Yeah,
It's gonna be there for the people who have eyes to see and they have they're honest with themselves and they want to. For sure, there is, as I mentioned, the lighthouses, right? All these is gonna serve for the
yeah.
future generation, brother. We
Well,
are already time up with this, but for definitely we're gonna be doing more. You see, like for sure, the subject is so wide and it's always amazing to share with all our brothers, right? Who
love
come
you
here
guys,
and
man.
visit
Great.
us.
I hope we can do it again. Let's not leave this as a one. Yeah, let's do part two soon. All right, because it's been a great
Oh
chat.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh
God
yeah,
bless, bro.
absolutely. So yeah, brother. Last thoughts before we start wrapping it up, Billy, brother.
Man, just keep doing what you're doing, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Jane also, and I think yeah, it's got interesting days ahead, to be honest. Because either way, like if we see the way the world is heading, do you guys want to see it go that way? Them having control? No, we're taking control, and we're gonna, let's make this world a better place. To say, as Michael Jackson.
Absolutely well said, brother. Every step is important, right? Every thought, every vibration to that is important that we send. Brother, absolutely. People, you can find the link from Billy's channel and the book. Do support Billy too, right?
Thank you.
So that we can have our second part from that awesome book. And thanks for being here, brother. Gene,
Thank you, guys.
last thoughts. Last thoughts.
Oh yeah, Billy, thank you so much for coming on, man. It means so much, man. You're a great guest, brother, and welcome back anytime.
Thank you, Gene.
Definitely love
I'd love to come back. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And
definitely,
I'm going to
brother.
make an effort to do more of this, actually. So, because I enjoy it
Excellent.
so much. That's why. Yeah.
You should. You got a great voice for it, man. You should
Ah,
have a podcast maybe, and get some stuff going yourself. Even that would be
I'm
cool.
going to do it, man. I like, I'm inspired by that comment. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Gene. Yeah. Good on
Very
you, man.
cool, brother. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
And thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are the best. I hope you liked our guest today, Billy Zig. Bro, just thank you so much, man. It was a pleasure to have you, bro. I'm looking
Pleasure
forward
too,
to
man.
communicating more. I'll send you a couple of those pictures, and we'll see you soon, brother.
Thank you, guys. All the best. And thank you to everyone. Thanks for listening.
All right.
See you
So
guys.
we will say goodbye after the show is over, Billy. So don't go away right now. All right.
Oh, cool.
So
No worries.
yeah.
I'll stay.
So there you have it, people. The elusive curve is so difficult to find. You have the author right here, also the star of uh, Flatten the Curve, and this amazing book. So yeah, do also support uh, Billy, and thanks everybody for being here. Make sure you guys check us out on the next episode of Heliopsychosis podcast with some amazing guests here. As you know, we are trying to have amazing lineup as our awesome guest today. So make sure you guys are there next week. This is Vikka Draziv signing out, guys. See you soon next week. Love you all and keep it flat. Bye, guys.